Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. And joining me for this segment, we have John Phillips, co-founder of Predictit, the stock market for politics. We're going to cover what traders are thinking for the Republican primaries in 2024, and of course, what the outcomes of the 2022 midterms will be. And John, I thought of you over the weekend. Clearly, it was on top of everyone's mind, but looking at 2024, it could feel far away, 2 years away. Well, actually, a year and a half away, but it was really close to home this weekend.
It sure was. I mean, the Supreme Court decision on Roe v. Wade was, has dominated conversations, every place I went this weekend. And I think it's going to have a big impact on the 2022 midterm elections and, of course, leading up to 2024. Now, is it going to, help or hurt the Republicans and the Democrats? That's a good question, but Predictit traders seem to have an opinion on that.
They certainly do. And let's look at your first couple of charts here when we're
Sure.
looking at, what traders think with the 2024 Republican primary. It's pretty interesting, the scenario.
It really is. I mean, so start with the presidential election. Trump's been the favorite to be the Republican nominee almost consistently since he left office. However, for 2024. But DeSantis has maintained a solid second place, and surprise, surprise, he's now in first place. He's actually at 41% odds that DeSantis will be the Republican nominee in 2024, and Trump is down to 33% odds that he'll be the Republican nominee. DeSantis has the advantage of incumbency. He can do more than just talk about stuff. He can actually do things which are in line with the base, but we'll have to see what happens to all the other candidates. Everybody else is in single digits: 6% for Haley, 6% for Pence, 5% for Pompeo. You got Tim Scott, Kristi Noem, and Glenn Youngkin all at 3% odds to be the Republican nominee. This is going to change. It's definitely going to change, and really a lot depends on whether Trump decides to run again. But DeSantis is certainly in a solid position, solid number one with 41% odds to be the Republican nominee.
It'll be interesting, John, because it'll certainly provide some theater, that's for sure. As we know, DeSantis and Trump have been politically aligned, and even socially aligned, is what appears to me, that they got along well and they supported one another.
Right. Well, that's politics, right?
Yeah, well, there's that too.
There can only be one Republican nominee. So.
And if we would look ahead to some of your other data here, 2022, the midterms.
Sure. I mean, so this is where you're going to, you may see the impact of the Supreme Court decision, and what matters is can each side turn out their base, and abortion is a base turnout issue for certainly for a lot of candidates. It's going to play a major role in the state legislative races where these abortion laws are going to be enacted, or they have been enacted through trigger laws, or they will be proposed. And so the impact on the 2022 election is interesting. There's no way to know for sure right now, but Republicans are still favored to take control of the House in 2022 by 88%. But that's the Democrats at 15% odds to pick up control of to retain control of the House of Representatives. That's double where they were just a week ago before the decision, at 8%. Same is true with the Senate. In fact, the Republicans are favored to take control of the Senate by 73% odds, but the Democrats have increased their odds from 25% to 33% since the decision. So what you have here is there is some movement. The real question, as you and I have discussed many times, Jill, is what will the role of the economy be, and especially with those swing voters, not turning out the base, but rather with the swing voters. How are those swing voters going to vote? And a lot of people think it's going to be the economy, but it might turn out to be something like the abortion issue.
All right, John, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks, Jill.